want to, we can also wait for another. We can also wait for another minute if you want to. Just giving the people the chance to join us today would be great.
For sure, yeah, we can discuss a little bit. So, my question, the first one for you, will be when exactly DisplayPak was introduced? Like, how long is it on the market? It's fresh product, I know, but
yeah, it's brand new. So we launched it in September.
In September,
So
so
last
totally.
month, yeah, we launched it officially, right? Of course, there were already some demo units around, but we launched it in September. And that's for we're having also some nice introduction discounts prepared, right? To
Yes,
get it
that's true. I
started.
will show it later for sure.
Very good.
Yeah. So the thing is, this specific solution, DisplayPak Plus from SurgeX, it's actually totally new form factor for you, right?
Correct. So that's the smallest form factor we have now in our portfolio. So the before the smallest form factor was our squid, but that's like an A4 letter, so that's much bigger. And yeah, as you can see, the display pack is like, I would say like a phone. It's slightly bigger than a phone, but like a paperback book. So that's quite, handy. And it does fit, yeah, like the name says already, for example, behind the display, right? That
Yeah,
was the intention to cover displays in, yeah, multiple installations.
cool. So we have some scenarios for you. So maybe let's start the presentation and show everything we've got.
That sounds good. All right. Yeah. So first of all, maybe also a slight word to me for introducing myself. Yeah, I'm Martin, from SurgeX. I'm working with the company now almost 4 years. I started off as a technical sales engineer, and now I'm supporting our distribution partners, like Modulit, for example, in, yeah, getting the right understanding out to the market, what we are doing. And to put it in a nutshell, what we are doing is, yeah, smart power management, right? So we are producing products for protecting AV equipment, but also remotely maintain it and, yeah, even fix issues on site automatically. And today we want to focus onto our latest display pack. So we launched it, as I said, in September. It's available in two different form factors, so with four, or not form factors, but configurations. So 4 outlets and 2 outlets. I got even 2 outlet with me as well. So, and then we can cover, yeah, more or less up to four connected devices. So our intention is, yeah, or the benefits which brings the display pack, we define out in the where to use scheme. So mostly we want to get it used in applications, yeah, where you need the full control of equipment, right? Because nowadays service costs, they're very high. So we want to offer a solution to remotely dial into the power, the infrastructure, and hard reset products when they're just getting clocked with ghost errors, for example. Um, it's aiming also in non-rack installations. I mean, that's clear, right? Because of the form factor. And also an installation where you have a high demand on energy. So we can also bundle them together, and, yeah, cover like LED walls, for example. What we can do as well with the display pack is maintaining the network. So we can make sure the network is running 24/7. And when there's something wrong with the Ethernet switch, we can restart it automatically. I'm going to show you that later on how to set that up. And it's also aiming into installations with in the big rooms or in even big conference centers where there's a big distance between the equipment, or when you're having a small number of devices. It's like
Okay.
digital signage, for example, couple of screens, digital signage player.
And I have a first question coming.
Yeah,
So the question is, can we connect to the single outlet a power strip to power up more devices?
yes, of course, that's possible. Um, but I need to keep you in mind that it's limited to 10 amps. So that's like 2.5 kilowatts. That's the maximum power we can supply with it. But yeah, of course you could. We are doing that as well, right? When there are not enough outlets, because our aim with the product, after we're offering also 19-inch products with 8 or 10 outlets, our aim was to design it as small as possible. But if there is the use case, or if you have like LED strips, for example, for lighting, if you want to connect multiple to it, yeah, of course you can also connect the power strip. You just need to keep in mind it's limited to 10 amps.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, so how does it look like in detail? So I just lined up the measurements for the unit, right? It is 1U high, so it is rack mountable if it's needed, right? So when you're having a small IT or AV rack, then you can also mount it in the rack. So that's also possible. But mostly, as I said, it's coming with a bracket, and then you can
It's
put
coming
it
with
onto
the
the wall.
bracket, so some kind of a plate, metal plate, is included into the box, so we can mount it, right?
Correct. So there is like a small metal strip on behind it. You can see that here on the pictures. So it's mounted on the back of the unit so that you can drill it onto the wall, or put it onto connected next to a Visa mount, for example, for a screen. That's not a problem. Yeah. So the unit itself looks like this. We're having on the one side, we're having the inlet, right? So the power connection which we need to connect to the socket. And then we have a lot of status LEDs. So first of all, the power, if there is power on the display pack, that's red. Then we're having also a status LED for our Wi-Fi. So there is a Wi-Fi module in there. That means you don't even need necessarily wire it up with Ethernet cables. So for example, when you're having a trolley, right? The trolley is just pulled around everywhere, and it's quite hard to establish a power connection and an Ethernet connection. With our unit, you can just hook it up into the Wi-Fi and connect into it. Then we're having some status LEDs for all outlets. So of course they're enlightened green when the outlets are on. The typically RJ45 connection. We are very hard aiming on to getting connected into a network, but we also know on some customer sites that's not possible. So that's why we also included a micro USB OTG service port. So when the technician is on site, they can just use the USB cable and dial directly into it. That's also not an issue. And then we're having a software and a hardware reset button, just in case if you need to completely wipe the unit off, we can do that by hardware. And on the front side, of course, we're having the outlets, the 4 or 2 outlets.
Martin, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
So I have a question coming from our guest Pavel. Pavel is asking, can we use it as a soft start for a LED wall that draws 16 amps at startup?
Is there? I got a question back to Pavel. Is there only one power connection, or are there multiple power connections?
Okay, so let's wait for Pavel to answer that and keep going. Multiple. Right. Oh, so Pavel is live here, so multiple.
Yes, then yes, of course. So what we can do is, because as I told you, it's limited to 10 amps, right? But what we can do is, for example, use 2 of the 2 outlet ones and put them behind the wall, because they can cover in total they can cover 20 amps. And what we are able to do from our power perspective, we can program delay times in between the outlets. So we are doing that very often also with our other products. So when you're having like a 4x4 LED wall, we are dividing or separating the LED cabinets into different power lines. So like 4x4, we would use 2 or even 4. And then we are programming a sequence and just powering up the different lines one by one with the delay time, just to avoid that we are having these issues with the tripping circuit breaker. That's not a problem. We can resolve that issue.
Okay, that's cool.
So yeah, after we're already jumping into the applications, right, where to use it. So mostly it's power, right? We're doing power. So that means we are not really reliant to some signal like AV over IP, for example, or HDBaseT. And that's why you can use it almost everywhere in the installations. So we can use it in mobile installations or digital out of home. Also large scale installations, because then we could use couple of these display packs to just combine all the power management. Unified comms is also a very big field we're looking into. And then also, yeah, quite cost-effective installations like huddle spaces we can power up, or small meeting rooms, and of course, digital signage. How does that look like? We prepared some application diagrams just to make it quite simple to understand, okay, where do we sit in the system? So in a huddle space, for example, you have mostly a screen and a video bar, right? And they're also quite cost-effective installations. That's why we would go there with the two-way. As mentioned earlier, digital signage displays with a single screen or even with two LED cabinets would work as well. Mobile is, as I mentioned already, like a card, right? Where you just bring your own meeting applications. There we can sit behind the display, power up everything, but we can also.
So for this one, for mobile, I believe the Wi-Fi connection will be very useful, right? Because
correct. Yeah, correct. Because you can then, when it's hooked up to the Wi-Fi and you are just connecting the whole trolley to power, then our display pack is going to boot up and going to get linked directly into the Wi-Fi.
For sure. Okay.
Meeting rooms as well, right? So when you're having, that's now an Microsoft Teams scenario, but could be any other software as well. We can make sure that the power is running smoothly. We are protecting also the equipment, and we can also, make sure that it is up 24/7. Because especially with the Microsoft Teams computers, we heard a lot of feedback from our system integrators that they are always, or that they are a lot struggling with the software updates during the nighttime. And then the MTR computers, they're just going down after the software update. We can fix that remotely. How to do that, I'm going to show you in the user interface in a second. We're also aiming into education, so like a classroom scenario. Because what we can do as well is scheduling, so we can schedule that the power, for example, in the evening, 6 o'clock, when the complete school is empty, we can automatically switch off everything just to save energy and costs. We're also covering QSRs or menu boards. So when there are a couple of LCD screens, we can cover that. We even have already one system integrator who's using, it's a different product, it's a Squid, but who's monitoring the power just to make sure that the screens are up and running, right? Because these, especially in a quick serve restaurant, they need to run 24/7, right? And they're mostly selling service contracts. And one of our customers is using it already to monitor the power. And when the power consumption is getting higher and higher, they know that the LCD screens are end of life and that they are starting to get brown and dying, and they're monitoring it. And when our display pack is just sending them a message via SNMP that the LCDs are consuming more and more power, they know that they need to go there and exchange the LCDs. So they're doing advanced or predictive maintenance already with the product. In kiosks, we could use it as well, they're also sometimes getting stuck, and to hard reset it automatically in the background, we can resolve that as well. So that's more or less all the applications we can cover. As I said, we're doing power, so we can also cover LED walls when we're just splitting them up in between different display packs. We can also cover LED walls, because the most LED wall manufacturers, they are installing power runs with 10 amps each. So like with 4 or 6 cabinets, that's a maximum 10 amp power run. So we can, by multiplying the display packs, we can also cover big LED walls. That's also absolutely possible.
I have a question to you, Martin. Can we use 2 display packs in one room? For example, one display pack to be attached to the projector and maybe some kind of HD-based T receiver, and the second being somewhere, I don't know, near the podium in the auditorium or on the mini AV rack or something. Can we, use more than one device in one scenario?
Yeah, of course. We can do that, yeah, as long as there is a power outlet. But yeah, especially in an auditorium where you have the projector up on the ceiling and then some HD-based T receiver or AV over IP receiver, we can power up these two devices on the ceiling, and then on the lecturer's desk we can power up the HD-based T extender or AV over IP extender, and also the docking station, and the more or less the AV control, right? We can also power that up as well and can use them together.
Okay.
And to make sure that we can control everything, we're offering a very wide range from software. So we know that not every application fits to our software, and that's why we are offering 3 ways to dial into our products. So first of all, the web browser-based user interface. You can reach it through local network or through a VPN tunnel into the network. The second one is our SurgeX Connect Cloud. So we are hosting a cloud. You can hook up 10,000 units if you want to into the cloud and oversee them through a cloud dashboard. And the third option is our APIs are all open, and we are also fully integrated in multiple control room systems. So our devices can also be controlled just from a Kramer or from a custom control processor.
Yeah, we actually have this kind of installation in our offices in Warsaw, where we are using Kramer control in connection with Squid device. Yeah, and we can actually very easy reboot devices or launch some kind of scenarios programmed on SurgeX. So that's quite cool and easy to do.
Yeah, and that's what we want to do. We want to make it as simple as possible, right? To just oversee and also monitor the power. So how to do that? How to do the first setup?
Yeah, show us the interface of
So that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to just give you an introduction to the user interface. So I'm just pulling up the user interface. It's also quite simple to dial in. So we are running a software, or we have a software. It's called Amatec Device Discovery Tool, and there you can find all the SurgeX devices within the network. As you can see, I got multiple devices running in my network. But of course, today we're just focusing on the DisplayPak, right? And it's going to open up the web browser-based user interface. Then we can log into the unit and landing on our landing page. And from here, I got already some power monitoring, right? And I can already remotely control the outlets. So as you can see, that's now like a small Microsoft Teams room scenario. Got a display, an Ethernet switch, an MTR computer, and the PTZ camera. And what I can do when for example, the PTZ camera isn't answering anymore, I can hard reset it. So we are not doing soft reboots because most of the manufacturers, they are able to do soft reboots. Never mind if we are talking about the Teams room scenario or a Kramer control system. What we are doing is really hard resetting, because mostly when it comes to ghost errors, when the software is getting clocked and it's stuck, often you just need to pull out the cord, put it back in, and that's all about it, right? And that's what we can do remotely. So we can switch them on and off. We can also reboot them, but as I said, it's a hard reboot. So this is now the MTR computer, and it's going to come up after 3 seconds. Our user interfaces are all designed that you can highly customize them. So we can change the names, we can change the reboot timing, because especially with the Ethernet switch, 3 seconds power off won't be enough. So we would need at least 30 seconds or better, even more. And we can fix that. Then what we are highly interested in SurgeX is power monitoring. So we want to know, okay, are there some power issues? Are there some, and we're not talking about 6 hours power outage, right? We are more talking about these slight power glitches, like, okay, there's a drop of the voltage for half a second, and that's more or less, yeah, blocking your or getting your installation to go down because the network switch is just losing his power for half a second, and then yeah, you need to restart the network switch, you need to restart the whole installation. So the conference room, for example, it won't work anymore, right? And we are not only monitoring the power.
So to put it simple, if we install DisplayPak, it will actually make the power go smoothly, and there will be no issues, like the small glitches with the power. Will it
Correct.
eliminate it?
Yes, because we're having our surge protection in there, and we're having also EMI RFI filtering in there. So what we are doing is, yeah, smoothen out the power that, especially because the software is running on machine code, and the machine code in the CPU is just generated through voltage level. And when you have a lot of noise on the neutral and on the ground level, the issue is that, yeah, software is getting clogged. So, and we are fixing that already. So we are filtering the power, we're conditioning the power. And that's what we're not only doing with the DisplayPak, but with all our products. We are conditioning the power just to make the installation more reliable.
Mm-hmm.
And we are also recording everything. So we have a very nice log file running in here. We can see what's happening around the unit. So as you can see, the outlet control. So I rebooted the MDR computer, so that's getting logged. And yesterday, for example, there was an undervoltage shutdown, so there was a power outage, where the unit itself, yeah, logged it that there was a power outage. We are also having a nice historical data section in here where we can yeah, look into more or less everything around the power. So this is now the line voltage. We can also look into the maximum power, and ooh,
Yeah. I have a question.
yeah.
If we compare it to other devices from SurgeX, the big ones, like for example, Vertical or Defender Series Plus or other new stuff, where is the difference in the user interface? It's actually, DisplayPak is offering less, or the same, or
And that's the advantage with our products. What we have done is we established a whole ecosystem. So never mind which IP product you're using, the user interface is going to be the same. So just let me pull up Defender Series Plus, for example. That's an 8-way rack PDU, right? And when I'm pulling up the Defender Series Plus, give me a second.
so besides number of outlets they are providing, the actual functions will be the same. I mean, in terms of the user interface, web user interface.
Correct. As you can see, it's all the same. So what we are not doing is downgrading feature sets or something else from the products. So you're always getting the full SurgeX package. Never mind if you're using the small form factor, even the one with the 2 outlets, or if you're using our big form factors with 24 outlets. So the functionality is always the same because we don't want it to downgrade like the entry level products, right? We just don't want it to do that. And that's why, yeah, so you're getting always the whole SurgeX functionality, right? I mentioned earlier already that we can also, yeah, fix problems automatically. So what we can do, we can program triggers. So, and that's again on all SurgeX products. So first of, there are some pre-programmed triggers on the unit already. First of all, we are fixing electrical issues, right? So when there is an overvoltage more than 260 volts, for example, we are entering the shutdown state. So it's going to switch off all the outlets. And when they are all self-healing. So as you can see, that's like a simple math operation. So when the voltage is down below 250, then it's going to switch on everything. I can, as a lot of things in our user interface, I can customize it, right? So I can also bring these thresholds down because I don't want 250 volts going to my equipment. A very important trigger for us as well as the overcurrent shutdown. And that's where the LED wall from Pavel kicks in, for example. We're also monitoring the current. So when there is a fault, for example, in one of the power supplies for an LED wall, and it's consuming 15, 16, 17 amps, we would recognize that. And instead of having the circuit breaker of the building tripping or of the room, we would just switch off the outlets just to protect the connected equipment like the LED wall, to protect, of course, our unit as well against overload, and also to protect the circuit breakers that they are switching, that they are tripping out.
Okay, if we're talking about LED walls, so same question as before, coming from Pavel. So soft start for LED wall at 16 amps, but what if we have only single power cable? Which device or which function should we use, to make the start softer?
When you have only one power supply, then of course we're having high inrush current relays working in the unit, so they are protected against over inrush. But then the issue is with the power connection to the display pack, because the power connection is the IEC, the small IEC connector, and that's rated for 10 amps only. If you want to soft start the LED wall, then we need to go for a bigger product. So we would need to use a 16 amp product, like the Defender Series Plus, the 19-inch rack product. We can cover the LED wall to soft start it. That's not an issue.
Okay. Okay, and the next question coming from our audience is about service or maintenance. What service or maintenance is required over the life of the product?
Firmware updates. Sorry when I thought so long, because actually, so there is no maintenance needed. It's all only hardware. There are no batteries inside, except our UPS portfolio, but in the display pack, there are no batteries inside. So mostly it's, firmware updates. Sometimes we are launching a new firmware, especially, of course, after launching a product. Sometimes we are adjusting some functionality, and we are also always keeping our network standards up to date, right? So all the units are 802.1x encrypted, and of course, then it happens, as we know from a lot of AV technology. Sometimes you need to install a firmware update, but that's it. So there is no battery changing, no opening up the box, nothing at all included.
Okay, that's good.
All right, so then let's move on with the triggers. What we can do as well is, energy saving. So we can program schedules in there. So you can see now there is a weekly schedule from Monday to Friday. That's like a typical conference room scenario. 7 o'clock in the evening, it's just going to switch off everything. And then I can program a second one, bringing up everything at 6:30 or 7 in the morning, just to save the energy. Because after we are monitoring the energy, we can also pull out the data, the power consumption data. We can pull it out, and we can help the end customer. So through the system integrators, we can help the end customer to save costs, right? And at the end of the day, to do some green AV for the environment. We can also, of course, program a daily trigger. So I could program a daily trigger 1 o'clock in the morning, and just rebooting the network switch just to make sure that everything is running smoothly during the day. That's also possible. While we're talking about network, what we can do is automatically maintain the network as well. So I can program a trigger as a network trigger, or I can program multiple triggers. I can define an IP address. Mostly you would use the Ethernet switch, but it's an IP address. So we don't care if it is the ground control processor, if it is an a video bar or if it is an Ethernet switch. So as long as there is an IP address, we can ping it. So we are permanently asking the unit, everything okay? Are you alive? And as long as the unit answers back to our DisplayPak class, there is not an issue. But when it's getting clocked, like the Ethernet switch is getting clocked, it's not responsive at all to software commands anymore, we would then reboot the Ethernet switch automatically in the background. So we would immediately, when it's getting clocked, hard reset it, and that's it, just to keep the network up and running. Or yeah, Microsoft Teams room, for example, when we have one customer, I've been there last week, and they told us about Lenovo, that they're having some problems when they're doing the software updates during the night. Then we can help when the unit isn't coming up after the software update during the night. We can program the trigger that it's going to hard reset the NUC or the mini PC immediately when it's just clocked after the software update. So we want to take away a lot of stress and a lot of service burden from our customers.
Yeah, I really love those trigger functionality. We can actually, I actually used it in one small installation where we have AV over IP solutions, and I used it to ping encoders and decoders, and it's working flawlessly.
Especially these encoders and decoders, right? Because they are programmed. I would say the software on them is running, is on a basic level, right? So we're not talking about a proper NUC or a proper room computer. So it's running on a basic level. And yeah, especially there, when it's getting clocked, you can just hard reset it automatically, and that's it. So it's taking away a lot of stress.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's more or less all about it, the user interface. Just to wrap it up, right? So I mean, why should we choose the DisplayPak Plus, right? First of all, it's our it's Wi-Fi enabled, and we are the first one with on the market having a Wi-Fi enabled PDU. And we have a real-time power monitoring on board, and we are recording everything. Then we're working smoothly in terms of software. Never mind if we're using our own web browser-based user interface, our cloud, or third-party control system, or even an API. So we are also always very interested into getting integrated in system integrators, in-house monitoring dashboards, for example. We have a couple of customers who are doing that already. What we can do as well, as I mentioned earlier, we can program sequences, so to avoid that the circuit breakers are tripping, and of course to start up network applications in a proper in a certain row, so that, for example, the network switch is started first, then there is a delay time like a minute, or we can freely program that, and then after the Ethernet switch is running smoothly, we would then get all the different clients into the network. We are fixing electrical issues in the background, right, already with the triggers, and also network issues. And we can help to save power, to save costs at the end of the day. And we're also logging everything around the installation, just to find out if there are issues on site. And trust me, I'm seeing a lot of system integrators every day, and every system integrator got at least one installation which is strange behaving, because there's equipment which is falling off the network permanently, or there is equipment which is not getting started. We can see that when it comes from power, and there are a lot of issues around there with power nowadays. So even I'm based in Germany, and even in Germany we're having these issues with power, and we can fix that because we're having our inrush current elimination, on board. We are surge protecting the units, so we protect the investment of the end customer as well, and we are improving the performance. And in terms of project-wise, why we should go with the DisplayPak Plus. First of all, we have a very competitive entry-level pricing. So, for example, the 4-way is like 350 euros MSRP, right? We're having, and that's also very seldom, 5 years of warranty on the
5
product.
years for this small box.
Correct. So that's 5 years of warranty, and it's getting even better because we're having an advanced swap out warranty. So what that means is whenever there is a faulty product, and as I told you before, I was working in tech support, and trust me, that's quite seldom. But of course, that happens on every manufacturer. Sometimes we're having faulty products in the field, and instead of just taking it back and making some investigations, that's something we're not doing. So when there is an issue, just come back to Modulit or even to us directly. We're going to open up an RMA and we're going to send out immediately a new product to site. So we're going to send a new product to you, and afterwards we're taking back the old product. So we are not leaving you alone without power for 2 weeks because we are doing an investigation. We are sending out the product, and you can install it, and then we're good to go. And that for 5 years or even more. Yeah, so that's all about the DisplayPak in our short webinar, right? So of course, if you have some questions, just come back to Adam and me. I just wanted to tell you something about upcoming webinars. So we're having 2 in the pipeline for our Access Plus and Access Elite Plus products. So that's, as you can see, 19-inch products. That's also, we're launching them in September as well. And yeah, what we're going to do some webinars in the future about these products. But
yeah. Martin, share links with me and I will share it with our participants. No problem.
Yeah, we'll do. Yeah, of course. Let's set up next month a webinar, or we're going to do a webinar next month about the Access Elite Plus, I think. And yeah, now the big question from my side is, Adam, is where can we get the DisplayPak Plus?
You can actually get them now from us.
Ooh.
Yes, we are pretty stocked with them. But the good thing is, and I will show it to you. I will actually show, this is my screen. Martin, please confirm if you see my screen.
Yes.
Good. So guys, as you can see, to make the start or introduction of DisplayPak even more attractive, we actually launched together with Martin a start promotion. The start promotion is very simple. So if you're buying 5 or up to 10 units, you will get 5% off from your standard purchase price. And if you buy 10 or more pieces of DisplayPak, single model, 10% off from your standard purchase price. So actually, it's pretty attractive. And as you can see, those devices, they're actually not that expensive. So for the 4 outlets, its MSRP is 349 euros. Yeah, and for the smaller one, it's a little bit less. It's 300, yes. So go to our webpage, check it for sure. And what's important, if you add specific number of units to your basket, the rebate will calculate automatically. So don't worry about anything. And if anything is going not your way, or you see that this discount is not there, just call me, call your sales manager, and it will be there.
And by the way, we have a question, so I'm going to answer that now.
Okay.
So yeah, because that's our entry discount, right? But when it's, of course, when you're buying a couple of devices, even more than 10, we are also very open to register a project, and then you're getting special project conditions. So
yeah, that's true. That's true. Just we're really open. We are not selling only through our B2B system. You can always ask your sales manager, and we can offer you something special if it's needed for the project, or if there is, a case study to be done, which we are looking for. I'm just saying.
yes.
So that's also good. But the next thing I would like to show you to our attendees is if you see my screen, and if you go to our website, actually on the top of it, you can find a nice selection of tools, one of which is SurgeX Selector, which is actually a very simple piece of code on our B2B system, allows you to easily find the proper SurgeX device. So in 3 steps, you can actually select, you can find the solution which will power up your system. So it's actually about answering 3 questions. First one, it's about, do you need power management and IP control? Just, I will mark it as a yes. Then,
maybe as a side note from my side,
yeah.
why did we implement this question? Because we are after we are SurgeX, right? So we also have very good surge protection devices in hand, but we slightly separated our product portfolio. So on the one hand, we're having the clever IP products, right? The monitoring, with, of course, with the surge protection included, but we also have surge protectors only. So when you're having a site where you're just facing power issues, but the customer won't allow you into the network, or they won't need any power monitoring, then we can also simply offer, yeah, hardware products to surge protect and to power filter and power condition.
Yeah, that's true. We are focusing on the IP solutions. However, there is a wide selection of products which are actually serving the power protection more. So
Correct.
don't afraid to ask. Coming back to our selector. So the second question will be about the load. So up to 2,200 watts or more. Let's select the first option. And then the last one is about how many devices you want to connect. So let's go with the 4. And actually, you will receive a device which is fitting your needs. So DisplayPak is here. If you need more, for example, 6, just mark it, and then you will see more devices, like a squid and different types of the squid, actually. So again, very easy to use, and I strongly recommend. If you're not sure about which type of the device you actually need, this is the simple tool which allows you to, make it even easier. Okay, that's actually all coming from my side. I will take a look on the questions panel, because I probably saw something here. So the first question I have is about how to set up Wi-Fi connection in SurgeX DisplayPak.
Oh, that's a good one.
Because for sure, at the start, this is just me thinking out loud. You need to connect it via cable, right, to configure it?
Yes. Give me a second. So I'm just going to share my screen again. So first of all, yeah, you're right. For the first setup, we need to connect the cable, but we can use different ones or multiple ones, right? So we can use the RJ44 45 connection, so the network cable, or when you don't have the possibility to hook it up into a network, we can use the micro USB service port, right?
Okay.
That's also, yeah, an option when you're on site and you want to dial directly into one unit. You can just use the USB connection. And then when you logged in into the user interface, then you can just jump into network, and you're going to have, yeah, 2 sections. So the network section,
Okay.
the settings for wired, and then the ones for wireless. And then you can enable the Wi-Fi, and yeah, then it's going to scan after Wi-Fi networks, and then you can just enter the credentials, hook it up. As you can see, I got a couple of them around, right? And then you can just easily connect to the Wi-Fi. And when you have done this configuration, then you're good to go. So then it's quite simple to to put the DisplayPak Plus on a trolley and just carry it around on a trolley.
Yeah. Okay, thanks. The next question I have is about how to restrict user access. For example, limit it only to the power monitoring. Are we able to do that?
Yes, we are. So what we can do is we can set up user accounts. So we can define which kind of privileges the users are going to have. As you can see now, I got an administration account, so I can do everything. I can do trigger configuration, I can device control, so switching on and off everything and rebooting. But I can also, change the network settings, and especially the network settings at the software update bit. We don't want some end user in there, right? So what we can do is we can just add a new user, and then we can define out the privileges. So mostly we would define out like an facility manager, for example, who needs to be able to switch on and off conference room number 4. We can give them a user account and just define out that we only want them to have a device control, right?
Okay. And the last question I have, probably the last, will be
Probably.
how to manage efficiently like 10 display packs.
That's also quite easy. Then we would use our SurgeX Connect Cloud dashboard.
Okay.
So I can
I can imagine a scenario, because this is probably we are talking about like a big facility with 10, for example, screens, digital signage screens. So screen plus player plus display pack to power them. So, and we have 10 of them. So
yeah. Or just think about digital signage. You're having a quick serve restaurant, some kiosks, for example, in McDonald's in Warsaw, for example, and then you're having another project in Berlin. So to oversee all this installation, we can use our SurgeX Connect Cloud. So we can, I just opened up our demo account. We can hook up all the devices into our SurgeX Connect Cloud dashboard, and then we can remotely control it. So we can
it's for free, right?
Yes, that's a good one. Yeah, it's for free. So we are hosting the cloud, we are paying for it, and you can use it. Of course, as a system integrator, you can also just offer your end customer a wider service. So that means if you want to offer them the possibility to dial into there, but of course with restricted user rights, we can do that through our cloud as well. And if you then want to offer them to, overseeing their power, overseeing their infrastructure for a license model in the month, you can do that. We are all good with it. And from the cloud, I can also jump into the specific units. As you can see, we have a power monitoring on board. We can power manage everything, so we can switch on and off. And of course, we're having also the historical data on here that we can oversee it, and even the sequences and the triggers. So there's 90% of the functionality is on the cloud dashboard. So your question should be, what's not on the cloud dashboard? The firmware update is not on the cloud dashboard. So we are not allowing to update the firmware through the cloud dashboard, because we're doing infrastructure products, right? We're doing power, and we don't want that this is going to be a security issue through the cloud, for example. So that's why firmware update is not allowed through the cloud. You would need to dial into the user interface.
Okay, I understand that. Makes sense. Okay, so guys, DisplayPak is here. As I said, as Martin said, it's already available through our or SurgeX warehouses. There is a nice starting promo. Just remember about it. And if you're not sure which type of SurgeX device to select, for sure you can use our SurgeX selector tool. Available on our website. Don't need to log in. You can just use it.
Yeah, or just give us a call or an email. We are always happy to help.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, I think we can wrap up our meeting. So thank you, Martin, for giving us all this information.
Thanks for our nice
Hopefully, we'll see each
conversation.
other soon.
Will do.
Will do. Okay. And for our participant attendees, thanks you. Thanks to
Thanks
you.
a lot, guys.
And expect some summary of this meeting later this week or on the beginning of next one, with all the links, all the tools, specifications, so you will have easy access to everything.
Correct.
Okay,
all
thank
right.
you.
Enjoy your day.
Enjoy your day.
Bye
Bye.
bye.